The death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. And it came to pass in the days of unleavened bread, when the Passover must be killed, that Jesus sat down with his 12 disciples in the upper room. And he said unto them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. And after they had eaten, he took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it, and gave unto them, saying, Take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you and for many, for the remission of sins. Then said Jesus unto them, All ye shall be offended because of me this night. For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. But after I am risen again, I will go before you into Galilee. Peter answered and said, Though all men shall be offended because of thee, yet will I never be offended. Jesus said unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this night, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. There, in the garden called Gethsemane, Jesus began to be sorrowful and very heavy. And he went a little further, and fell on his face, and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me nevertheless. Not as I will, but as thou wilt. Then cometh Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, with a great multitude with swords and staves. And he drew near unto Jesus and kissed him. And Jesus said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss? Then they laid hands on him and took him. And all the disciples forsook him and fled. They led Jesus away to the house of the high priest. And Peter followed afar off, and sat among the servants to see the end. And a maid came unto him, saying, Thou also wast with Jesus of Galilee. But he denied before them all, saying, I know not what thou sayest. And when he was gone out into the porch, another maid saw him and said, This fellow was also with Jesus of Nazareth. Again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. And after a while came they that stood by, and said to Peter, Surely thou also art one of them, for thy speech betrayeth thee. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. And Peter remembered the word of Jesus, who had said unto him, Before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. And he went out and wept bitterly. Now when morning was come, the chief priests delivered Jesus unto Pontius Pilate. And Pilate asked him, Art thou the king of the Jews? And Jesus answered, Thou sayest it. But he answered no more, so that Pilate marveled. And Pilate said unto the crowd, I find no fault in him. But they cried out the more, Crucify him, crucify him. And Pilate, willing to content the people, released unto them Barabbas, and delivered Jesus, after he had scourged him, to be crucified. Then the soldiers of the governor stripped him, and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had plaited a crown of thorns, they placed it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spat upon him, and took the reed, and smote him on the head. And after that they led him away to crucify him. And they came unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, the place of a skull. There they crucified him, and 2 others with him, one on the right hand and another on the left. And Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross, Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land unto the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani? That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And when he had cried again with a loud voice, he yielded up the ghost. And, behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom. The earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened. And many bodies of the saints which slept arose. Now when the centurion, and they that were with him saw those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, Truly this was the Son of God. And there came Joseph of Arimathea, a rich man and a disciple of Jesus, who went to Pilate, and begged the body of Jesus. Then Pilate gave him leave, and he took the body and wrapped it in clean linen, and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. And the women, who had followed Jesus from Galilee, beheld where he was laid. Now upon the first day of the week, at the rising of the sun, the women came to the tomb with spices. And, behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and rolled back the stone and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for I know that ye seek Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And as they went, Jesus met them, saying, Rejoice. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him. And thus it was fulfilled what he had spoken, saying, The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinners, be crucified, and the third day rise again. Now Christ is risen, and death is swallowed up in victory. He is ascended to the right hand of God, and ever liveth to make intercession for us. To him be glory and honor, power and dominion, forever and ever. Amen.